to remind everyone of the City of Perry staff's core value. It's a strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity, is a team player, is accountable, and is a good steward. So have roll call, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
And next up is the approval of the meeting agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, next up is the consent agenda. It consists of the minutes of the February 2nd regular city council meeting. 3 contract payments or contract services payments, 2 to Bolton and Mink and 1 to EOC Environmental for a total of $8,071. Claims and financials, $227,120.54. And the following licenses and permits, retail alcohol license to JMC Supermarket at 605 First Avenue in Perry. And the fire inspection and police inspections have been completed and are on file at City Hall. And JMC also is wanting to renew their device retail license. So could I have a motion on the, excuse me.
There's a
Sorry.
couple more.
We have a couple more. Another one is to Smoke Time 2810 Willis Avenue, Suite B, and the Blue Jay Market at 2810 Willis Avenue, Suite A. Sorry about that.
Have the fire and
Doesn't say.
Tobacco doesn't require fire,
Oh,
police
okay.
inspection.
Sure. Okay,
That motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I second that.
Discussion. Roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, next up, city administrator report. Sen.
All right, well, I think we are hopefully, knock on wood, starting to turn the corner to get some projects going back or get started, so. The next few weeks or early to mid-March, we'll start to see some more activity around town. Biggest thing, would like to, if everybody can pull out their calendars. Look and see if it would be next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, around maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If we could do a budget work session. Just on capitals.
I think any of those work for me.
Wednesday, November 25th.
Yeah,
23rd, 24th, and 25th.
I like 20.
Wednesday,
Yep, I'm good for any of those days except
Wednesday,
Mondays.
At 3 p.m.
So 3.
sure,
So what day we picking?
Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Wednesday at 3 p.m. Okay.
Yep. So prior to that, we'll send out the agenda and information and
That's the 25th at 3 p.m. That's a work session.
yep.
Like that approach. We just did that, put it in our calendars right.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Saves a lot of emails and phone calls.
Thank you.
Yes,
All right, a much higher likelihood I'm gonna be there.
there you go.
And that was my big thing. Any questions? Other questions, comments?
How was the fishing?
Fishing was great. Catching did not go. Got to sit on the ice and look at mountains, so I'm happy.
Thank you, Sven. Mayor and council comments. Just want to say I had a really good time on Burr Ride. The weather and the stops were nice. The riding home into the wind was not, but if you don't have some problem with it, nobody would come and ride it, or
What's the challenge?
everybody do it. And, yeah, but we had a good time. I was hoping Lindsay might be on here to give us an update, but I don't see her there. But it was a good time, and I recommend it to anyone. Great. Council, any comments?
Comment.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank anybody and everybody that reached out to me about all of the concerns, whether it be the baseball field, garbage truck, garbage cans, whatever it is, that I appreciate people reaching out, apartment buildings. I listen, I like to hear from the constituents, and thank you. Thank you for calling my number.
You betcha. I was just gonna say that, it seems like the chocolate walk was well attended. There were quite a few people wandering around town, so that was good.
I just want to mention, as we get some nice days now, we've had quite a few fortunately, I see more and more people out, which is great. That means we all need to watch for people walking, jogging, biking, just being out, especially on the streets. It's great to see so many people out. I didn't know some people still had their dogs anymore. I hadn't seen them out since last winter, last fall.
Good, thank you.
I like to mirror Dirk's comments about Burr. Thank you, Lindsay, to the chamber. It's a great event. So happy that we have it. Next year's the 50. So that's gonna be awesome, big one. And then also last night I was on a walk. I just went by the new pitch area at about 8:30 p.m. and it was all lit up and there was about a dozen kids playing out there, and that made me very happy. So that's a cool deal that we got that.
Mhm.
Thank you, Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna move to open forum, but first we'd like to start off with something that we didn't get on the agenda, but the Rotary Club would like to present their annual Civil Servant of the Year Award tonight, and so I'm gonna let them come up and present that, so. Katie?
Katie and her line of work.
Okay. Okay, so you. Chris, yeah, please. Well, the Rotary Club, which I'm a member, has a annual Civil Servant of the Year Award. We take nominations. They we choose from the people selected. We like to give it out at a city council meeting just because it is a public forum and they get some public recognition. And so we invite them to come and attend. And so with that, I will turn it over to Don. I'll let him announce who the winner was. Normally, Katie has a little bio of why he was chosen and what the nomination said. But okay, that'll say that. Step up to the microphone, Don.
Yes, Clark has been superintendent for 9 years, Harry. For that, or Maxburg, he was superintendent in many years, principal at the elementary, many. Mr. Eddie Diaz, UMac Vancouver Career Center, wrote his nomination. Throughout his career, Clark has demonstrated a commitment to public service, placing the needs of students, schools, and the Perry community at the center of every decision. His leadership has been especially evident during some of the most challenging periods facing our school district and community. For steady guidance, thoughtful action were essential. And Eddie went on to say, Clark retired this year with positive, calm, and forward-thinking approach to deeply missed. He's behind a stronger, more resilient system and a legacy of leadership rooted in integrity, service, care for others, Rotary, and one of the service of self. Mr. Wicks.
Great.
Thank
you,
you.
Clark. Congratulations.
All deserved. Awesome.
Best wishes in the next part of your life.
Congratulations, Clark. It's well deserved. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys.
And you guys don't want to stick around for the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to leave. We aren't offended by people leaving. the middle of the meeting, so. Okay, so next up is open forum. Speakers asked to step up to the microphone and state their name and address for the record. Individual speaking will be given 3 minutes to address the council. I want to remind people that the resolutions down the road is not open forum, and so if you have anything you would like to address the council on any of the ordinance changes, you need to do that during open forum. During the ordinance readings, it will only be asked up if one of the council members has a question and requests you to come up. So any open forum requests, please step up to the microphone.
Jim Caulfield, 2124 Bella Street here in Perry. First, I'll just say, make it a great retirement. And as some of you might know, this coming Saturday is International Women's Day here in Perry. And I was wanting to request the council to cut their hand.
Actually,
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on.
Couple weeks.
Chip. Anyone else? I'd like to get up and address. Okay, Jason.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Uh,
Jason.
Can you give your address?
Jason.
It's Jason McKee, 11311 West 25th Avenue, Greenview, Iowa, 519.
What's your
What's that?
business address here, Jason?
South 1/3 Street.
Thank you.
What time? Now I go to an all outdoor. I told him it was the 715 First Street.
Oh,
Someday it gets done. Not soon enough. Anything else for it? No? Last meeting, I know you guys talked about rezoning some of those income, low income apartments, whatever we want to call them. I brought up spot zoning, and I was told that it's not spot zoning because it was in the comprehensive plan of Perry. I found that comprehensive plan online. I see it's 13 years old. I don't know if it's valid anymore. I feel like it's really outdated. The economy has shifted. Everything has changed. It's pre-pandemic, pre-Tyson. To justify that that's the current zoning is valid, I think the reach. In that plan as well, it also states the East Gateway should be a soccer complex. Not a soccer complex, so I feel like we're kind of cherry picking what part of this plan we want to use and we don't want to use. I pulled up the housing needs assessment, the newest thing I could find on it, 22, it's 4 years ago. Obviously, then it changed even 4 years ago here in Perry as well. States in there on page 27 as we have an abundance of rental property. It says that our threat is a lack of high quality owner occupied 3+ bedroom homes, keep educators and professionals in city limits. Page 32 explicitly state resident for subdivisions over apartment style housing. By rezoning that commercial land for more low income rentals, you're doing the exact opposite of what's in that 2022 housing study, unless I'm reading them wrong. The developers are here, sure they're great people, but they specifically stated they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for subsidies. And that was specifically asked them. They have no interest in Perry, except for make money here. So they claim they're gonna stay here and keep the property up and everything else, but we don't know what that's gonna bring. We don't know what it's gonna look like 10 years down the road. We could use that property by the park for the park. We're gonna use it for something else for the city. Street department has their sand and salt right down the road. If we want to use that property for something and you want to bring people to Perry, indoor sports complex. I mean, I drive down now to Elkhart every day for sports, 4 days a week. They put in a new facility. Got ball fields, year round. Softball and baseball started in January. It's a year round deal. If we want to bring in, I think, more people to the community that, and improve the school district and everything else. I guess, I don't know why we're ignoring what's in the assessments and comprehensive plan, even though it's so old. I know it states it's good till 2030, but that seems like a really long stretch to try to make some plan. When obviously the town has changed dramatically since then. A lot of it's not under anyone's control, but it's changed. So, I mean, and it states in that plan as well, we need residents with the means to spend money in their local shops. Bringing in more high density, low income housing when the 2022 report says, when we already have abundant in rentals, not thoughtful planning, it's short. Questions? Anyone want a copy of any of that? I brought it, if people want copies.
I'll take one.
I'll take one.
I would take them too,
Jason?
if you've got the thing.
Page 10. Here, so we'll pass them down. Oh, we'll do that for you. All right.
Can I have one to
Okay,
put in the packet?
thank you, Jason.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you.
I can make a copy for
Okay.
you.
Oh, you didn't.
Anyone
I
else
can
for
make a
open
copy. I
forum?
just need it for the packet.
Okay, hearing none. Move on to old business. Okay. So item A is resolution authorizing and approving a certain loan agreement providing for the sale and issuance of general obligation corporate purpose bonds, series 2026, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same. Those were recent today, so the blanks in here will be explained to us here shortly. Is we get a motion to discuss this item?
Make a motion, we approve resolution authorizing and approving a certain loan agreement providing for the sale and issuance of general obligation corporate purpose bonds, series 2026, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same.
I'll second that.
Discussion, please.
Evening, everyone. Suzanne Gerlach from PFN Financial Advisors at 801 Grand Avenue in Des Moines, Iowa. We are the city's municipal advisor and have been for decades now. So it is our pleasure to serve the city of Perry. I come bearing good news tonight. Results of the bond sale. The city went to the market this morning for $6,830,000 of general obligation corporate purpose bonds. We received 5 bids from over 35 different banks, and I did hand out a result of the bid tab that I'll walk through for everybody. When we issue municipal bonds, each annual maturity gets its own interest rate, its own yield, and its own price. And when we look at all of those together, we aggregate that into what we call a TIC, a true interest cost, which is sort of the APR of the bonds altogether. The TIC ranges from 3.21 today to 3.49%, which is just 0.28% from the first place to the last place bidder. The closer those numbers are together, that means it's a level of confidence that we priced well today and that everybody agreed that the city of Perry is a great credit and they wanted to participate in this today. We did issue these as non-rated, but the city was qualified for insurance, which means that the bonds will be rated AA by the municipal bond insurance company. The underwriter pays for that. That is not something the city pays for. That's something the underwriter chose to pay for. And I'm excited to say these bonds priced almost 0.5% better than the last bonds that we issued in 2020. So the winning bidder is BOK Financial Securities, Inc. out of Dallas, Texas. They had a true interest cost, the TIC, of 3.2126%. The NIC is what we call net interest cost. That is the total of the interest that will be paid over the life of the bonds through now in 2038, plus the underwriter's discount that was charged by the underwriter today. Now, the purchase price, the price that we have off to the right, that is the price that the underwriter had to pay to win the bond sale today. And you'll notice that the purchase price is actually higher than the par amount or the principal, the stated principal amount of the bonds of $6.83 million. The BOK is paying $7,401,748.20 to be able to buy your bonds today. Every dollar of that extra money goes into the project fund to fund projects at the industrial park, at the airport, and for the new public works facility, and can be used for any street projects and any of those projects throughout the city. The second place bidder was a large syndicate. We call that a selling group, a large group of banks that went together to put their best bid. Robert W. Baird leads that syndicate. They're one of our usual winners today. Today they did not win, but Robert W. Baird had 31 members in their selling group and came in second today. So again, a high level of confidence that BOK gave us a really good bid today. They were at 3.26%, so 0.05% for the second place bidder today. The runner up, I'm sure Baird was very disappointed. And then as we look at the second page, Loop Capital Markets, they're out of New York, New York. I got a call from Loop this morning, just wanting to know a little bit about Perry and getting familiar, and they came in third place today. Northland Securities is another Midwest, I would say, bidder that we see on the list a lot. They're headquartered out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they have a strong relationship with the local banks usually. And Hilltop out of Dallas, Texas came in last place. They were last at the dance card today at 3.49%. So I am very pleased with the bond sale results today. I think to borrow over the next, what are we at? 15 years at 3.21% is a very successful sale for the city of Perry, and I'm very pleased with the results today. And I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have about the bonds or how things priced today. Then PFN would recommend that you award the bonds to BOK Financial Securities, Inc. out of Dallas, Texas at a true interest cost of 3.2126%.
Have you worked with BOK before?
Yes. They've been very aggressive in Iowa lately. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
The discussion? Do we have to change the motion to state the recommended bidder, Susie, or?
I would, yes.
We move to,
Okay.
you don't have to read the full resolution, but just to add award to BOK Financials.
Make a motion, we approve resolution authorizing and approving a certain loan agreement with BOK Financial Securities.
At 3.21.
3.2126%.
And a bid of.
I was gonna say all those.
That's okay.
I'd like to see Jeremy.
Yeah.
I could reach you if you'd like.
And I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein. Yeah. Andor,
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Have you been getting a number of bids? I mean, 5 is more than we've gotten in the past.
Yeah, it ranges every time we sell, but I think this is more bid. And this is the first time the city is qualified for insurance. This is the been on the city bonds for the long run. So essentially, you got the benefit of a AA rating without having to pay for a rating.
That's good.
On to item B, approval of pay application number 43 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. It's in the amount of $10,587 to Woodruff Construction, which is $8,737 of new work and $1,850 of retainage release. That puts them at 99.7% of the contract with $78,681.25 or 0.03 remaining in retainage, and the engineer has recommended approval. The motion, please.
I make a motion that we approve pay application number 43 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements to Woodruff Construction.
Okay.
Any discussion? Okay, Nice if we get that one
Yeah.
finally cleared off, so. Okay, roll call, please.
Andor,
Yes.
Klein. Yes. Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Okay, item, on the new business, item A is a resolution awarding a quote for the 2026 crack ceiling project. This was received at 2 p.m. on February 11th, and we got two bids, one from Parking Lot Specialties LLC for $32,430, and one from Farner Asphalt Sealers LLC of Plover, Wisconsin for $135,250. So the engineering estimate was 38,370. So Parking Lot Specialties was 15% below that estimate, and they are recommending we award to Parking Lot Specialties LLC. So have a motion, please.
I make a motion, we approve resolution awarding.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Why was it the $100,000 difference between the two? What was the problem there?
Disparity.
I guess Josh can bring us, oh, here, he's gonna tell us that.
Somebody didn't want the work.
I'll be honest, I opened the higher one first and fellow. We did see this in the last quote pack we had, it's actually got worse. First guess is potentially what got submitted. Almost. And if it was awarded. Recommended, or if they were the only. They were about $550 on your foot last year, I believe. Did it, Farmer was the. Parking lot Specialties is actually stuck around the same place. Sounds like they got a lot of work around the area.
We worked with parking lot specialties before, haven't we?
Yeah, I think they've been here for about 3 cycles of this.
Yeah.
Done some other small projects.
Do we or have we done any other business with Farmer Asphalt?
They did the first cycle I am aware of. Where they came in very competitive on that one is all the FAA projects had a lot of crack ceiling around the area. They were down here. And they can
Already
make it,
mobilized.
they can make it a lot cheaper for competitive nature. So we've been pretty receptive in providing us bids throughout the years. And we did have 2 contractors out, one specifically as that was already competing and
Let's keep an eye.
Other questions, comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Klein. Yes. Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Okay, item B is a resolution approving the print fleet management contract for the administrative offices. This adds the library and the police department to the current contract that the city has here in this building. And it actually comes up with a slight savings, what we're paying separately. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution approving the print fleet management contract for the administrative office. Can anybody
Discussion on that
talk to
one?
us about it?
It is about like a little over $2,000 a year savings, and the rec center is also involved in the cost sharing.
And everyone leases equipment instead of purchasing. and
Yes,
Having to.
Then we
supply-
get it replaced at the end of the lease cycle,
Okay.
and all the repairs and all that is covered, and supplies.
Yeah, I think the police department was one that kind of spearheaded that, just for the fact that our printer copy machines, like, I think 10 or 11 years old, and it's needing to be replaced. So, the city hall was already on with access. So we did some bidding with Rico, who we currently had. And Liz looked into access, and then we had one other company give us a bid as well. And really, it came up to be more cost effective to combine us, library, city hall, and the rec center. That way we lease the equipment, we get it replaced like every 3 years, I think. versus having equipment that you purchase and then you have an ongoing contract with them anyway, that you have to uphold. So we felt this was probably the better. Save this money and we get a new equipment more sooner than 11 years. So that's kind of how that all got started and.
Do they service that equipment at no cost and all that too? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The only really frustrating part is having to relearn how to use the copier.
Not for everyone.
New technology sucks.
Knitting.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andorf,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Okay, we are on to ordinances. You will notice that all three of them have a second, possible third reading for the ordinance. We will be dealing with each one of those individually. Council can decide on each one if they want to hold the third reading today or until next meeting. The item A is the second possible third reading for an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 165 zoning regulations. This is for the parcel out at the industrial park going from ag to light industrial. It's owned by Eddie Diaz and it was part of the one that had some zoning changes there because part of it wasn't in the city limits and brought in and had to come in at ag. So I could have a motion, please.
I make a motion that we pass a second reading for the ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 165 zoning regulations for the Semperfli piece.
I'll second that.
Okay. Discussion? Okay, roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein,
Here.
Andorf,
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Shall we waive the rules and do the third reading?
Would we like to do that? I would have a motion to waive the rules.
I make a motion that we waive the rules and do the third reading for this Code of Ordinance change.
Second that also.
Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andorf,
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Okay, then we will do a third reading of the ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 165 zoning regulations from ag district to light industrial for the piece of property out at the industrial park. They have a motion, please.
I would make a motion that we pass the third reading for the ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Andorf,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item B is a second possible third reading for an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 165 zoning regulations. This is changing this from agricultural to residential multifamily. It is for the property out on between Iowa Street and Highway 141, near the what do you teach project, yeah. But, okay, and so we discussed it, first reading was held at our last meeting, so could I have a motion, please?
I like to move that we table that and discuss it. Can we do that? Discuss it later.
We can make a motion to just discuss first. And
Motion to move forward.
I'll second
Discuss it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would like to table it to get more information on what's going on with where we're placing these apartments and if we really need.
do we need to do roll call for the motion discussion?
I'm the finance officer. I don't know.
Probably should, we, sorry,
I see Nick,
Nick is leaning
Eric.
forward.
so yes, we had a motion and a second. We need to call the roll for discussing.
Okay.
Okay. Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andorf.
Yes.
Joseph again.
Again, just to table it to discuss the need for the apartments and the location of the apartments based on the apartments that we already have in the city.
So I would agree with Joe there. I know that, if we do this rezoning, that the contractors will then do their own housing assessment to decide if they want to build something here. But I would like more information about housing assessment on our front. Didn't we have, correct me if I'm wrong, some of that very next stuff that we did, there's some information in there?
There could be, I'd have to go back, I'd have to look at PR.
Yeah, I tried to go back and look and I couldn't find it, but I believe that there is, I don't think it's a deep dive, but I think that there is some information in that very next thing we did, that has some information. I would also say, personally, a thing that I would like from these contractors is possibly a list of other properties that they have, so that we can talk to the municipalities in those areas and see what their relationships are, how that's going, and how they feel about their working relationships and how that looks. Like we talked about at the last meeting, we have some good relationships and some not so great relationships with projects like this. I just want to make sure that we don't go down a road where we're not having a great relationship.
And I feel like we didn't have enough time to really discuss this. It was just, okay, there's a place we're gonna do it, there's a place. And I'm not really for it. I live up by the street. See what's on the one. Towards our ponds stuff. Man. It's trash. Please, go out there a lot. Well, all right. I mean, we've had the fire truck in. I mean, it's active, it's just, I don't know. Afraid that another unit that's being built out there, it's just gonna create more. Need to look at. Take some time. The other property, I'm not sure why they chose that. Just. Yeah. Need some. Building in places that we don't even think we should. Born raised. Seems like we just pick and choose where we're gonna put stuff. I think we need more time to study it and discuss with it.
I can just make a couple comments. Nicholas Patwood for company 500 South Front Street, Columbus, Ohio. In terms of this location, we met with Molly and Sven when we first came into Perry. There are multiple locations that the state had scoring well this round. So it's not just that we come to Perry to, make a quick buck. We could have gone to Mason City, Clear Lake, a lot of these other communities. We pick communities that we know are going to be successful. We're a vertically integrated company. We have a construction arm. I'm part of the development arm. And we have a management arm. So we believe in what we build. We have to, right? If we don't get it right, we choose a bad location, we're going to hear from management. If construction doesn't build a good product, we're going to, management's going to give it to construction. We really have to care about what we build. The president of Logan Cooper Companies, David Cooper, he says, judge us not by the groundbreaking, judge us not by the grand opening, judge us 10 years from now on how this building looks. We've been in business for 35 years. Over that time period, we've developed over 365 properties. That accounts for over 16,000 units, housing over 35,000 residents. So we take this job seriously, and we do welcome you all to all the communities. Johnston, we have Johnston Crossing 1 and 2. We're building one in Davenport. We work there. We have one in Wilton. My my partner in crime, Barry Countess, is online. He wasn't able to make it in person tonight, but we really do have to care about where we build. This is our livelihood, right? If we don't get it right, with the city, we don't get a second chance. This is it. You know, one thing I will say is, you know, with the low-income housing tax credit process, you know, sometimes it does feel unfair that, you know, we come in a rush. You know, but these are the timelines we're held to. And really the unfortunate part of it is we get one shot. If we miss the timeline, if we don't, the application is in, there's a good chance that Perry won't score. So, you know, I don't want to make it feel like we're pressuring you guys, coming in here to vote in all at once, but, you know, I do want to make it clear that, you know, if you guys want to, you know, make a choice on this development, time does become of the essence just because of the nature of the tax credit. So we do, you know, welcome a third reading, but we do, Molly, I don't know, help me with the schedule. If we were to table this, what the effect would be.
So if you table it, you do have room for another reading, but that would then mean have to be a second, wait, and third reading. That is because they do have to get, I believe, by March. The site does have to be rezoned entirely. That is a requirement. Perry does score well this year and next year. After that, won't see another one of these for probably 10 plus years. So not to say, you know, if the council isn't feeling like this is a need for your community, that is your decision. But I will say this year and next year is really when you're gonna see it. And
Molly, can you clarify the reasoning behind that, why this year and next year are important?
yep, and maybe I'll let you guys explain it further, but the state does give out a list of the kind of the state or the counter communities that will score higher compared to others, but I'll let people are experts.
Holly, what determines where the complexes are built? What determines that?
Well, you guys can decide that, but we use our comprehensive plan when we have to do a read to kind of help us make the educated decision.
These are
So-
the only locations that you have recommended to them?
No, so I gave them a list of possible properties that I felt were complementary to the comprehensive plan that would fit the residential multifamily land use. I gave them the list and kind of, you know, they have to have discussions with the property owners if they're even willing to sell. Is there even utilities that run there? You know, they kind of have to look at all that criteria. Then there's also the scoring rubric that they look at with the state. That rubric also does include like how far away are you from a grocery store? How far away are you from an elementary school? They do take all that into account. The closer you are to those amenities, the higher you score. So that's also how they make their decision on what properties they do pick. But for like the council's decision on like how you guys can have guidance on where these are located would certainly be in like your comprehensive plan or where you would plan for these areas or just in groups discussions.
So who chose these locations? Your contractors? Why did you choose those locations? Or what other locations do you have that are maybe an option?
So we kind of picked the city over. We did take Molly's suggestions. We reached out to the property owners. You know, there was a couple zone sites that we were looking at as well, and we just, you know, couldn't break through the ice. Or the property owners just plainly didn't want to sell. So, you know, after looking over the entire city and, you know, we've done, you know, like this area because it does have other, you know, multifamily around and the new, you know, wetland feature that you guys recently put in, kind of makes it a nice area for a general occupancy family development. You know, with the townhomes and the walk-up building. But, you know, in terms of the state criteria, it does come down to the rubric. So there's a certain section of criteria that really points to certain cities and counties that are going to score well. Obviously, Perry was a high scoring from those standards. And then once you get into an actual specific community, it then goes down to the rubric that Molly was talking about. And it really goes down to the site. Is it easily constructible? Is it ready to go? Are you on a public street with urban gutter? And public schools? Are you near, libraries? Different, you know, amenities overall, grocery stores, those sorts of things. So we try to, right, the rubric is an average of 12 different sections. You need to score as close to 5 as you possibly can. We've had a very difficult time getting to that 5, but we believe very strongly that this site scores a 4, which in our, you know, experience is the best we've been able to do. And in Perry, you know, we believe that would be very.
Have you done your own housing needs assessment for the community?
So I believe, Councilman Mahler, you mentioned, that we are gonna be doing our own market study. We actually have that ordered. And that is required at pre-app. So that is underway. But, you know, in terms of, right, when we enter into a community, we do a rent analysis. And Barry, I don't know if you can speak to this at all when you, first came into Perry, but if you want to make a comment.
No, not at all, Nick, and thank you for opening the floor to me and council, city council. I do apologize for not being there in person tonight. But yeah, as Nick was saying, though we don't have a third party rent analysis or needs analysis, the state believes there's a need there in Perry. We believe there's a need in Perry just based on the housing stock that's available and the sausage plant that's coming in. You have a positive population growth through the census and your proximity to Des Moines and other areas. You know, we've been looking in the Dallas County, Polk County area since we came to Iowa in 2018. And then when the scores popped up in Perry, and that really drove us there because Iowa is so competitive. And it is extremely competitive. The sites, the projects that win this year, they're going to score between 51 and 50. After that, it's going to be tiebreakers, all tiebreakers. And you're facing a community cap there in Eldridge, or excuse me, Perry, it's been a long day, of 2 projects that can get funded, just 2 projects. And right now we believe there's 3 applications there in Perry. So with that, the 2 applications that are on the agenda tonight are the 2 projects. You hold the fate in your hands. As Molly alluded to, we're under time crunch. If we're not by right zone by March 11th, there's nothing else to talk about. So we would be more than willing to any of the council people to meet with you one-on-one between now and March 11th so you can know a little bit more about us. As I'm sure you're aware, we were successful through Planning Commission with a unanimous vote, and the last city council was a unanimous vote in our favor. We felt like we had the winds in our back and we were going strong. But again, we respect the questions that you have and the concerns that you have. And again, if we can take a minute to meet with you sometime between now and the next couple of weeks, we'll do that. And I believe we should be able to alleviate most of your concerns.
Barry, why those 2 locations?
Why those 2 locations? Why
What made you pick those 2 locations?
No, he was just talking about the location here.
Yes.
Yes, Iowa Street. Yes, sir. Iowa Street, yes. We came in looking at another location there, and I don't know the name of the road off the top of my hand. It's the bordering property to the west. I think it's like a 5 or a 6-plex townhome row. Seller wouldn't talk to us. We looked north. The seller wouldn't talk to us. We met with Sven and Molly, and they said, you know, there are these properties over here, and they do meet the consolidated plan. They weren't listed for sale, sir. We had to reach out to that landowner and make our pitch, and we did. So that's how we ended up there. Honestly, we believe the site is ideally located for this type of population, the general occupancy. You can get out to the highway quicker. You're quicker to the sausage plant, this and that. And it's wide open. I mean, we have the stormwater plant there to the east. We have the church to the west. Multifamily is across the street. We believe it's an ideal location. And of course, our site plan doesn't show sidewalks. We'll put those in. We'll probably put up maybe any type of bus stop we can for the kids. But yeah, regardless, sir, we believe this is a good site for what we want to do, or we wouldn't be there.
I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
Let's start with Nathan, is that correct? Nick, sorry.
Nick.
Okay. Earlier you mentioned that one of the reasons that you guys as a company picked Perry was because of our success. While I don't disagree with you, can you give me a few bullet points on why your company thinks this is a successful community without using the words happy?
The sausage cracking.
Yes.
So in our first meeting with Sven and Molly, I think we were both very impressed by Sven, a lot of the projects that you were bringing to the community, the wetland project being one of them. Right, it's always unique with these smaller communities that may not get the commercial drivers that a lot of these other communities get, but the staff behind the city really push for those grants to kind of bring unique things to a city like this. Barry, if you have.
I'm sorry, Nick, the audio is not great online. Yeah, and I respect that question as well. Why Perry? You're 40 minutes from well, you're closer. You're maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes from the northwest corner of Des Moines. I'm working in Des Moines, and I want to live in Perry. It's got a rural feel and a very nice vibe. I mean, I compare everything to where I live in Pataskala, Ohio. I feel like I live almost in Perry, and I've been telling this to people since the beginning of 2018. Ohio and Iowa, we're a lot alike. We are a lot alike in so many ways. You have a terrific town there, sir. And we know if we could put a stake there, a pin there, we're going to make some families very happy that they'd have an opportunity for an affordable place to live outside of Des Moines. Or maybe they just always wanted to live in Perry and couldn't find that perfect place. But we wouldn't be there if we didn't think it was a great place and we'd be successful. With the properties that we have in our portfolio, as Nick said earlier, we're always building for that next project. So if you pick up the phone and call Des Moines, or you call Johnston, or you call Indianola, and you drop our name, I believe you're going to get a good recommendation from us. We went into town, we made promises, and we fulfilled them. Are we perfect? No, we're not. But we are pretty darn close most of the time. If we laid an egg in Des Moines, we wouldn't be in Perry. Same way with Johnson and Indianola and other points in Iowa. If we weren't doing our jobs, we couldn't do the next job.
Awesome. Well, thank you for kind of answering that. I got another question right now. So I haven't been counting, but I've heard you say Johnston and Indianola, I believe 3 times now. Would you guys be willing to give us a list of all of your properties so that we could pick indiscriminately who we contact?
Absolutely. And if you pick one of those projects, we would love to give you a tour of what we're doing. You're going to see our finishes are fantastic and our residents are happy. But absolutely, we'll give you that list.
Okay. I got one more question for you. Is this your only project that you're trying to get in Iowa currently? And if not, where is the other ones?
Barry, do you want to speak on?
Oh, sure, Nick. Well, you know just as well as I. We are looking also in town of Eldridge, down near Davenport. It scores as well. Now, I can tell you that when we do these projects, there's a developer cap, and each developer is only going to get one project. So for our mission, we like to put 2 dogs in the fight, so to speak, and we believe we have 2 good ones. But yes, and full disclosure, we will put we plan to put another application in the town of Eldridge.
I think that's all I have right now. Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Would the other project like to come up and have a similar discussion?
Jerry Floyd, the Front Porch Development. Just want to echo Nate's thoughts, and a bit about what Barry was having to say. This competition for low-income housing tax credit is incredibly difficult. I worked with Iowa Finance Authority for several years and helped manage this program along with a couple of federal housing programs that they had there. You're going to have probably 32 applicants in this round of funding for financing for this program. You're going to have 10 or 11 winners. So when you go into these application rooms, you really have to look at what communities can bring up a winning application. And that's why they came to you. It's Perry scores really well this year. If you want to get a list of all the things that draw us to Perry,
we love the community. I drive through here all the time. Spend a lot of time in Perry. I work with a project, Frank Levy's project down here with Newberry Development, involved in that project. It's a great community, and we would love to build residential construction in several communities. But if we don't score, we don't go there. Because you can't get the funding to do the jobs that you want to do. So Perry has the pull of being an excellent community to go to for the amenities, for the culture, everything that's involved here. Love Burr about it. Lots of stuff going on in Perry. You have a lot of positives going for you. The biggest positive you have this year, you're going to score really well. That period. That's all there is to it. That's why you have so much attention, Nick, and all these people that are coming to you saying, we want to put a project in Perry. Very attractive community, but it scores well. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. We're spending $20,000 to go to a community that's not going to score well. We will not get an award. Period. So both of these developers that are here tonight are proposing excellent projects. They serve a community of people that are drowning in their rent that they pay. They're paying way more rent than they need to. These projects bring affordable rental units to the community. They bring a very attractive finish, a very attractive place for them to live, have their families. Back to the questions you had about why you locate in a certain area. I'm working on other projects in other communities as well. I've approached probably 25 owners of that either won't talk to you, are not interested, or want 3 times what their properties actually worth. Because you're getting, someone mentioned subsidy, we're not getting any subsidy. We're paying for this thing. There's an investor involved in this deal that's putting a lot of money into this transaction. And for the first 15 years of this project, they and the state inspector were up our stuff, making sure that we're doing everything exactly like we propose we're going to do. So these projects will not come along. This is your bite at the apple. This year, you have the potential of having 2 projects awarded. What's your total bill cost? 13 million. Yeah. Y'all heard those numbers. That's the amount of money that can come into your community to build these buildings. That disappears next year. It's gone. And you may not see that again for another 8 or 10 years. So that's my take on it. I operate statewide. I'm working on a bunch of different projects in other communities as well. But that's the take on how the low-income housing tax credit program works. And it builds affordable housing for people that are your teachers, that are your policemen, that are your firefighters, people that are making a living wage. Any questions?
Also,
Yeah,
Jerry, right?
you got it.
Okay. What is your affiliation and who is it with?
After leaving the Iowa Finance Authority, I started a nonprofit development corporation. We do affordable housing ourselves. I work as a consultant on many projects. My affiliation with this project is simply providing them some, I'm not a listed consultant, simply providing them some expertise on this program, how they can use it, how you can convince the Iowa Finance Authority to know what they're doing, and helping them get through this process. I'm proposing my own projects. I've got one in Greenfield, and we also did a couple other communities that were a lot smaller than these communities. They're a lot smaller projects. But Perry is a great sized community for these projects and member units.
Just so I'm clear, you're just here out of the goodness of your heart, helping your friends out.
I am, yeah, absolutely. And in all full disclosure, they're gonna be my builders on my project.
Okay, so there's a little background.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We
that's
know
great,
each other.
and I'm okay with that. I understand how the world works.
Also, just to add a little flavor, Jerry has actually looked at other projects. Were those workforce housing tax credits?
No, that's
That
before
was-
workforce ever came about.
I was gonna say, that's.
Yeah, that
been-
was, prior to Newberry coming in, we were looking at that entire city block over there. We were looking at doing a home program project there.
Oh,
at the time. That's what that was.
That was
shortly.
pre-COVID, so I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was shortly after leaving IFA.
Jerry, is your investors interested in building single-family homes? Could they build, could they build, Jerry, could they build single-family homes
They
under
can.
this same program?
Yes, you can. In fact, that's what I was looking at, in another community that's doing what they call a ROSE program, where these homeowners can purchase that in years at a very discounted rate. It's a great concept. However, our total cost to develop a single family home is over $14,000. The way that you reduce that total cost per unit is to start with. So it gets incredibly expensive. You do a certain number of units with the caps that you have in place for the LIHTC. You're welcome.
Jerry, can you, when you were talking, you said this wasn't about subsidies or didn't have anything to do with that. Can you clarify that for me?
Yeah, so the low income housing tax credit program is not a subsidy program. It's not a grant. It's not a loan that we're getting from the federal government. We are getting tax credits at the federal level for a project that we propose. And there's caps on those credits. We try to maximize those credits. We then turn around and sell those credits to an investor. That investor is involved with us for 15 years. That we're going to pay what the market says they are going to pay for it. We'll shop that around and try to get our best deal. Right now, you're in the ballpark of 74 to 76 cents. So we sell those credits for that. They produce the equity that comes into this project, and we're borrowing the balance of the funds to make it happen.
And that's the same way that historic preservation tax credits.
That's who buying
Just a little bit on the timing. I know in this project's case, because we were discussing on the way here, I think if you went to a third reading, what's that date? And when does that officially become rezoned? But doesn't have to go into the paper again before it gets final rezoned?
We do post it. Yeah.
So that works, except for the fact that we have a whole lot of investment in time, and money to try to get this project to that. And if that doesn't occur, we've lost all of that, and Perry's lost the opportunity to do the project.
Are these two projects married?
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Totally.
Totally separate.
So wouldn't it be, could you consult with these guys about building single-family homes? Is that something that you would not do? Cannot do? Can you do that? Are they able to do that? Okay,
There's no possibility.
there's,
I'm Ryan Jermaine, Boone, Iowa. I'm one of the co-developers in the project, and we will be the ones that maintain it for the 15 years. And we do also reach out, and I do build, and we work with cities. We've talked to the city about doing infill lots. We do small homes and infill lots. We work with Jerry with workforce tax credits to better our program to keep the housing market down, and we can adjust our housing with them workforce tax credits to go in there. So we've been in Jefferson this year. We're talking with Stratford now. We've built 10 houses in Boone. We've been in the Beta building. We go all over. We work with cities, get deals and work with them on the infill lots, along with developments in certain areas. We're doing a development Boone that we're working on, getting infrastructure and stuff ready for. So we do work around the area. I'm born and raised in Boone, so we're local, as you know. We get around the area, and we care about all these rural communities. So we do travel, we do houses. And if we did do a project like this, it makes sense with our subs here, do some infill lots and stuff. So we've talked about that with it. You know, we just got to go over the market studies and everything like that as that comes through and pick out what size of properties are built where and what location.
What are the infills? How does it look like in terms of size and cost?
You know, we can build anywhere from 1,300 to 2,400 square foot in Boone, you know, just depending on how big the infill lots are, what we have for property lines, what we have for, you know, all that, you know, comes into a factor. But we build to suit the area, you know, we're not gonna put a 2,400 square foot house for $350,000 neighborhood that won't support that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we build the suit with the area. We run our comps in the area and we will suggest that, but it is gonna be a brand new house. You know, we rehab a lot too, we flip houses, but we like to work with the cities to get rid of the really bad looking houses projects and put in, you know, stronger new builds, you know, that are market rate. We sell them as spec homes.
What's your price point for a smaller infill house?
You know, we try to keep, you know, we try to keep it competitive, so we're between 225 and 325 on usually the infill lots, you know, we try to keep it in the lower 200s, you know, because when you build it in an infill lot, you know, there's a certain kind of new home, you know, new family are gonna buy in there, you know, someone that, you know, is buying a $350,000 to $450,000 house, they're gonna wanna be in the new developments and stuff like that. Some people can't get to that point, you know, 350 to 400, so we wanna give them options at, you know, housing that is smaller like that, so.
And that would be about how many square feet for that house?
For 220, you know, probably 1,200 to
Okay.
1,500 square feet, you know, we try to hit 3 bedrooms on most of our houses,
Sure.
2 baths.
Okay.
But, you know, it just depends on what we're working for lots,
Sure.
you know, because every infill lot's good,
Great. Thank you.
so. Let Jerry, the expert.
I'm said about all I need to say. Any more questions I can answer?
How was this site selected? This is the one that's down by the park that's a
Wasn't
swamp.
involved in it.
That's a swamp.
Yes.
How did you select that particular site? Because that's the biggest pushback I have had. Is that it's inappropriate for the area.
Well, what we did is, I actually was one that was scouting sites out there. And I actually contacted Molly because I was looking for a site that was more specific to what we were looking for. And one of the big draws for this type of a project is what services are available and the proximity to it. So the scores for this site are high because the services are very close to this site. And henceforth, the reason that the other Light Tech project that was done in this city in 2016 by Newberry Corporation, which is 2 blocks straight north of this, they selected it for the same reason. You need those services for it. And they need to be within a half mile of driving, not as the crows fly. So that's the reason we selected the site. Also, with the ball fields being close and a lot of the walking trails, it seems to blend in real good with what we're looking at doing.
I've had more pushback with your site than I have with the other one.
I appreciate that. Any other questions for me? All good?
The discussion amongst the council.
I guess I'm just gonna say, I've had more interest in this subject than fireworks. And I didn't ever think that was really gonna be
Me
a thing.
too.
I never thought fireworks would be less engaging conversation. I don't feel comfortable moving forward yet. I would like to have more information. I feel like I don't have all the kind of where I feel, and I understand that if we are us and them, that we're on a time schedule. But it seems like May 2nd does not interfere with that time schedule. It might make things a little bit proper on
March
Or what I said.
May.
May 2nd's fine too.
Yes, if you guys are wanting more information, we can certainly work with them on whatever specific questions you have. If you are waiting to push it back to March 2nd, it would have to, in order for it to move forward, if you guys do favor it, it would have to be the second reading of waive the third.
And I would suggest they come with a plan B. If this site ain't gonna work for you, what other site in Perry is gonna work for you? I think that'll help everybody make a decision. I understand that the utilities are there and that's an ideal situation? Or what will be your next ideal situation?
You have to have the landowner submit the application. Start over for these projects.
So you're under contract right now?
We're under contract on.
Okay.
So I guess what I would want from you guys is a list of properties that, and municipalities that we could
And
possibly.
contact information.
Yeah, that we could get a hold of and say, hey, how do you feel about these guys? But also just for, us here, everybody that I would like to talk to about, that this May 2nd kind of feels like a drop dead date.
March.
Section. March 2nd feels like a drop dead date, but as, per their information, next year is also a good year for us to explore these options. So, I know that's not how they want business to work. I feel we'll paint it into a corner.
Thank you.
So
March 2nd.
make it by March 2nd. We would
Yes.
need to know what you need. We need to get that in, and then we'd need people to get it and use it and do what they need to do with it. Or it's a
Done deal.
wasted exercise. So,
Right.
just the stuff comes in, we need to take the time to peruse it, or we just drop it down.
I would also, Kirk, and I've said this before, to anyone who is opposed or, for these projects. We only have a handful of people that have expressed their, opinions publicly here. I would expressly say that maybe if people feel so strongly about things, they should come down here and, say their convictions in public, rather than through text message or phone call. I would like to see that.
I agree.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's following up with the merits of, if we want to go the information route, then that's fine. We need to let these gentlemen, now fair to them, know what it is we need and, when they can have it to us, and then we need to know how we're gonna handle that, the council does. In fairness to them again, so that we can look at it and give them an answer. So what is it we need from them?
I would like to see a listing of properties and contact information so that we can talk to these communities
Okay.
about their site selection process, how the properties are holding up. And not necessarily one that was built last year, but maybe 8 years ago.
Just a quick question on follow-up on that. There's a lot of players involved in one of these ongoing projects and for
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah,
Who do you want to talk to? The city administrator? Do you want to talk to the project owner? Do you want to talk to the city council? We can give you whatever you want. We just kind of need to know who you want to talk to.
I think a list of municipalities, and then we can, sort from there who it is that we.
It help us, so if we can identify, by title, like, do we need a city administrator, they can give us that person so we can talk, just for example.
Here's my concern about that, John. He might have a great relationship with Jimmy in, Winchester, Ohio. And he wants us to talk to Jimmy, but he doesn't want us to talk to Jack.
I'm standing here asking you who you want that person to be. And
Yeah.
I'm giving you the option of not making any
Sure,
suggestions.
that's what I'm saying. If we just have a list of municipalities, we could possibly figure out contact information from there, or anything.
But probably
We had
we
those.
should get that information, so.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to talk to residents, they would have to be the ones that, they won't be able to give us that.
Yeah,
information.
no,
We'd have to personally go or have them call or.
Right, I've expressed earlier that, I believe that the residents probably are a bit biased, maybe one way or another. I don't really trust those opinions. I don't know a lot of people that love their landlord or don't. Their landlord
Oh, mine
either way,
loves
so,
me.
yeah. You're good.
My question, my question would be to Molly, is it all or nothing? Is it both projects or no projects? We choose
Well-
one project and not the other project? Do we have that option?
So the state gets to decide who scores the best. So it is unlikely, unless the state's really like we carry this year, it's unlikely that both or all will be awarded. So only one will probably be awarded. one project. I can't tell you which one will do better. The state will do that with their.
And there's a third one that we haven't even talked about. Yeah,
Yes,
because there's no rezoning involved.
but
So I
we,
guess between these two options, they are two separate items, so one could be rezoned and the other not be rezoned.
Right.
So that's a choice that council would.
Not all or nothing.
And beyond zoning, city really does not have any in any of these projects other than issuing, or going through the site plan process, and issuing building permits. Sections.
Somebody mentioned the spot zoning, with spot zoning we have to do some spot zoning down Iowa Street to make this happen. Was Iowa Street already zoned for that?
So Iowa Street on the north, on the north side of Iowa Street is multifamily. Because that's right there, that would be, makes sense within the area as far as zoning goes. And then as far as spot zoning with the West Third Street, it is from 2013, but we are still in the process of updating the comprehensive plan. I think that would probably carry true, that we would look towards having more of a buffer and transition from park spaces to commercial, like industrial, things like that.
So Iowa Street is already zoned, but
Part of it.
No,
On the
so-
north side.
Part of
On the
it,
north
the north
side,
side,
but
yes.
this parcel on the south side is still ag. And again, I think we discussed it the last meeting as well, but we were pretty intentional in the design of the wetland of not taking up that entire parcel, so that that west 10 acres west of that detention area or wetland could be developed into housing. With this, there's still another about 5 acres west of this that could be developed as well.
Okay, and just
Okay.
for clarification, one thing. We're gonna score high this year. Is that because they picked certain regions and give them a higher score because they want to spread it around the state, or what changes with Perry that makes it not as high a score 2 years, 3 years from now?
I think they today, it's based on that it's been 10 years since Perry's last been awarded a housing project for housing development. So it's hard to say when we would come back up on that list, with the state really trying to spread this money throughout the state. And that's a big piece of it. Even Nick has 2 proposals going in. Even those 2 are competing against themselves because the state will only pick Dakota Cooper for 1.
now is
So-
Newberry out
So-
on Willis and
Newberry built and was the developer for Hamlin Bell Apartments.
right?
Bear Development out of, I think, Wisconsin. Anybody happen to know? I believe they were out of Wisconsin. Bear Development. Built that apartment
Willis Avenue,
building,
Barton.
but Newberry is managing that.
Okay, were those built under this same program?
Yes, so the Willis Avenue Apartments are the family housing bucket of money. The Hamlin Bell Apartments are out of the senior. 55 plus bucket of money.
Boo.
I already said, I'm sorry, Susan.
The 55 plus bucket.
Yes, experienced adult, how about that?
Okay.
So, and that's one of the reason why Perry for those developers both received funds for developments in Perry, is that one was family and one was senior.
And these
So-
are all going to be family.
From what we understand, yes.
Including the third one that we don't need to rezone.
But Molly was talking about, but yes, there. So, again, like, how many awards typically are given out?
Depends on the year, but 10 to 12.
So 10 to 12
Throughout the state.
in the state. That these three would be competing against just in Perry. So if they, and I know IFA wants to get those funds spread across the state as much as possible, I would be extremely surprised if IFA would award 2 projects in Perry in 1 year. So
Sven, can you or Molly, what were the unit numbers? How many units per development were there? I forget. Was
out
it
of these,
Yeah,
or
was it, I believe it, was it 65 total between the two, or was it more than that when we were talking about the zoning ones?
tonight's,
Yes.
Ours is 36.
36 and 51. Okay. So
Okay.
this one would be 51 in Iowa Street.
Do you have a number on the non-zoning?
This is another thing of the, you get 3 chances with 3 trying to get in Perry. If applicant that don't have to reapply and you guys get that project, if he scores less than both of our projects, if we score the best, we score, high or 50s, 51, 52. If, we score 52, they score 51, and they score 50, and say all over the other state, they're scoring 51, and these 2 projects didn't go through because of zoning, then you guys lose all the projects. So it's over the whole state you're competing against. So you're only giving out 11 projects, and now you got 3 lottery tickets going in as applications. You got a better chance to win.
Maybe you feel like the bell of the ball, right?
But, so you're giving 3 chances to get 11, applications statewide to accept. Compared to if you don't rezone either of these, you don't get that. So you're taking your chances away every location you take away. And it's good for the community. Like I said, someone's not gonna come in here and invest 13 million, 18 million on a project that they haven't done their homework on. It's needed here, the state sees it's here, HUD sees it needed here, everyone is telling us to come here, that this is a community that needs our help to help grow. I just wanna put that out there, so if, one location don't score that good, it could take all of your chances. Every site scores different, so.
Fair enough.
Thank you. I don't know,
That's the
guys,
other one.
I don't know if we're successful or need help or all the above.
I know you need help.
That's March 2nd. Thank you.
So we either need
I-
to have
yeah.
a motion to move for the second reading, or we need to have a motion table till next meeting.
Motion to table till the next meeting.
I don't know that that's a motion, it's just not taking action right now. Lack of a motion.
And this is on both
Well,
B and C on the agenda.
Right, you guys, I would encourage, if we can get a list sooner than later, like. We only have,
This week,
sounds like we have one more chance at this on March 2nd.
We're
So,
getting our list.
cool, thank you very much, appreciate it.
We'd love to meet with you guys individually. Anything we can help offer.
While I appreciate that, Ryan, I like to keep these meetings public.
But we have a public meeting next Wednesday that we could devote a little time after the budget to discuss this. For the,
As a work session,
Can we add that on to our,
as a work session.
As a work session.
I have a question.
no motion, no action taken.
On the, what we're trying to pass as far as the Main Street. From ag to. We did the readings on that just, does that give them the go ahead then? Did we pass that? Or do they come back
Oh,
and
they-
tell us from the state? So we still have.
So for them to turn in their application on March 11th, the second and third reading would need to be done by March 3rd or March
just to
2nd.
change it.
That's for the rezoning. And then,
Just the rezoning.
Just
and
read it.
then they can apply. And then it is up to them to impress the state or between those three proposals.
Does
in
it
the
still come
states.
back?
Only as,
Yeah, I mean, before March 2nd. I don't know. I think you guys are making a mistake.
Still have to present it to you guys until site plan.
So really all we're doing is rezoning.
That's
Yeah,
all
but-
we're doing.
So
Yes.
we could do
You're not
that.
in good faith gonna approve a project on that site, that it's.
Right.
Bad form to make them spend a bunch of money, so.
Because
given
these
planning
projects
zoning
won't
means the
happen if
state
they don't
awards
get the
that
funding.
project, that subject to us reviewing site plan and agreeing to, we will approve a project there.
and the site plan approval is pretty straightforward as far as these are the requirements for a site. You have to meet as long as they're meeting those requirements for that zoning. Then
So we really don't have to. hold up.
No,
Yeah.
not,
we lose our teeth a little bit. I mean, we could do that, but it would be really uncool.
it would not, I would say, and I'm sure the developer, this, it would not be fair for you guys to approve a rezoning when you're not 100% feeling it. And then they get awarded and then they come with a site plan and spend all that money with the engineering documents and our review on it. And then you guys like, actually, I don't really like
We were
this."
just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
that's
the
okay.
time we have,
Yeah.
state's not to be too kind and try to give us any more money. so
Right.
We refused it the last time,
Right.
so why
We
would we?
just wanted to know.
And just, yeah, that's
Clarification.
the reason I wanna get this right the first time, because I understand you guys also have businesses to run.
Well, you do your,
Yeah.
we'll get you.
I want to verify with Nick. So there's no motion and then we can place it back on the agenda on the 2nd.
that's correct.
Okay.
Okay,
Should probably entertain a motion. Question. No motions.
back to item B, second. Possible third reading for an ordinance amending the code of ordinances, chapter 165 zoning regulations. From ag to residential family. We have a motion.
This is the motion to discuss it that we just discussed.
No,
This is just,
this, if
We're-
we're
we're
not
just-
wanting to take action tonight, we have to entertain a motion. And then if nobody makes a motion, it would
Die. For tonight.
die tonight for lack of a motion. And then it would be on the March 2nd.
okay. So, hearing no motion, move on to item C, second possible third reading. For an ordinance amending the code of ordinances, chapter 165 zoning regulations from light industrial to residential multifamily. Property down on West Third Street. Do I have a motion on that one? Being none, we'll move to the final item, adjournment. Thank you all for attending. Okay.
Now, are we gonna get information before Wednesday?